Hello. Hopefully, you'll join me on this virtual walk in the Pine Barrens. I say virtual because I'm really at home, but you'll see pictures from the Pine Barrens in this video. And because I need to talk to you, and I'm not in the mood for getting in front of the camera right now, so I'm just gonna talk to you like this because you don't want to see me cry. So, anyway, let's get started. We're gonna talk about my agency playing games with me. And I'm not going to call them out by name. Not yet. Not yet. But they were originally willing to let me look for an apartment, and now the director of the housing part of the agency is now giving me a hard time. A hard time, I should say. And they tried to call me, and I was in touch with the housing supervisor, and I had found apartments in Lynbrook that they're dodging me on as far as not looking into them. So I'm going to kind of read to you some of the correspondence on this virtual, little virtual walk here in the Pines. And I've been in touch with N, I'm not going to even give her first name, regarding your request to relocate. N is the housing supervisor. This woman that I'm speaking with is the director, all right? I wanted to get additional feedback from you regarding your request. I know you have concerns with your current community and neighbors. What is to happen if you are relocated and similar concerns are present in your new location? I ask because we accommodated your request to relocate from your Westbury apartment, and I want to make sure we are all on the same page. And then she says, we are currently trying to fill all our internal vacancies before getting into any new leases. So basically, they don't want to sign a new lease with another landlord. We have a vacancy in a 2-bedroom apartment that we rent in Baldwin. The apartment is located right off Grand Avenue and is very accessible to the LIRR. You know Baldwin by Grand Avenue by the LIRR is pretty damn sketchy. So this is how inconsiderate this woman is. All right, so this woman, again, I'm not even going to give their first name, all right? Because I don't want to give any information from them. But I will tell you that this housing supervisor, I will tell you that this director happens to live in a very nice neighborhood in West Islip. So they have no idea of what it's like to deal with. So I replied to them saying I have been in touch with this other person. This is the other woman is the housing supervisor about other apartments I have found, but I have not heard back from her. I have explained everything to her and my new housing assistant about this. It is more than just the neighborhood issues. It's the apartment, the building itself. It is the issues in the neighborhood. The problem lies with not getting things fixed, getting unbearably hot, and the situation with trash, as you know. The intercom has been broken for nearly 3 years now. When you push to ring an apartment, it doesn't ring. The landlord sent someone to look at it in 2021 and was told the part was on order, but it's an obvious lie as it never arrived. Then there is the heat in the summer, as I explained to the others. The other tenants don't believe in using air conditioning, climbing the stairs, which are very steep and don't have a railing at the top. I feel like I'm going to pass out. Then the situation with the trash, which is supposed to be put in a receptacle in the basement. Often, other tenants leave their trash on the stairs to the basement or at the bottom. And I'll throw some pictures in the video, again, so you see what it looks like. It smells bad, and there's always a swarm of flies there. It is disgusting. And because all my windows face this closed and alien courtyard, I cannot get fresh air in here. All right? So, there's also an issue with people in other buildings across from me smoking weed and blowing it into the courtyard, and it stinks. I'm 5 years older, and it's getting harder to deal with all these things. So, I'm not going to read every single thing I wrote to you, but I said in reply to the 2-bedroom apartment, and I've explained this to them many times. As I explained to you before, I cannot deal with having a roommate and losing my privacy in a 2-bedroom apartment. There's absolutely no way I'd consider the apartment you brought up for that reason, let alone that I know that area in Bull well, and it is not safe there at all. Much worse than where I'm at now. Like I said, the issues in the neighborhood alone aren't enough for me to want to relocate. And it's true, if it wasn't just the neighborhood, I probably wouldn't, all right? But when you're throwing all the issues in the apartment, clean, the trash, it's not clean, and I shared the pictures, and then I said I sent her the information about these apartments in Lynbrook, but she never followed up. So this woman, the housing supervisor, happens to live in Lynbrook, by the way. So, yeah, these people are from the South Shore. And sometimes I wonder if they're actually trying to keep me out of the South Shore. So it says, thank you She replies again. This is the person I'm corresponding with is the director, right, of the housing division or community rehab. So it says, "Thank you, John. I am including the housing supervisor on your response as she oversees the supportive housing program. Thank you for sharing your concerns with your current apartment. I can empathize with your frustrations with neighbors smoking in their apartments and or inadvertently setting off smoke detectors while cooking. My concern would be that this type of incident could occur in any residential setting. What if you were to move and had similar concerns with your neighbor, or your concerns were currently worse than your current are? I'm going to ask the housing supervisor to reach out to the landlord about the intercom garbage and lack of railing. And they do offer another AC unit." And I respond, "Well, I do share your concerns. Maybe the landlord can do something about it." And then I said, "Can I share this thread with your therapist?" All right, because again, they're all at the agency. "Yes, but I still want to talk on the phone because it's hard to explain everything." And they said, "Absolutely, we can talk on the phone." And then they wanted to schedule a conference call between me, the housing supervisor, and my therapist, and my housing specialist. So it's going to be like 3 against 1. They want to do this conference call. So I replied to that, and this was last night. "If you want to do a conference call, it could be next week, though. I may be busy." All right, so I'll just list the days that I'm available, all right? I don't know what days I'm not going to say when I'm going to be available. But the reason I wanted to talk to you is to better explain how where I'm living is detrimental to mental health. And as you all my viewers know, it's been very bad for my mental health. I would obviously do my research with the trash, blight. I would actually, I skipped ahead here. I would obviously do my research into anywhere I'd be moving to make sure the building is suitable for me as well as the neighborhood. And of course, I would make sure that there was no smoking. As I explained to you, it is a very difficult dealing with the trash, blight, and people hanging around in my neighborhood up to no good. It is also very difficult dealing with the depressing view out my window. It feels very closed in when all your windows face a closed-in alley courtyard and you can't even get fresh air. It is very hot in the stairway because no one else in the building seems to use their air conditioner. I feel like I'm going to collapse climbing those stairs, which are very steep in the heat. Then I come home to open the door and it smells like someone smoked a joint in my apartment because someone in the building or on the other side of the alley smoked a joint and blew it into the alley to get sucked into my air conditioner. And the landlord knows about the intercom as well as the trash situation. What makes you think they'll address it now? And the problems go way beyond this building to the buildings in the neighborhood. It's getting dilapidated, unkempt, and the streets are deserted once the sun goes down. I don't think you have any idea how living here is harming my mental health and are only looking out for your bottom line. At least that's the way I feel. I've walked around plenty of other neighborhoods in Rockville Center and Lynbrook at times of day and night, and I don't see any of those problems there. It's clean, feels safe, and there's a normal amount of people around. This neighborhood in Mineola is declining. And I've spoken to others in the community who feel the same way. Between the neighborhood and the apartment building itself, I don't see how I can survive another summer here. Why won't you follow up on those apartments in Lynbrook I sent you?" So again, I've sent them. I found some apartments in Lynbrook, and they're ignoring me, blowing me off. Now I know why, because I did the research. So we're starting to get close to a lawsuit here, all right, at this point. Because it might be a discrimination lawsuit against my own agency at this point. And I say, getting back to what I wrote, I want to work with you and do this in the polite way, but I'm going to have to look into contacting a housing rights organization if you won't. No, most proper apartment buildings have things like intercoms and places to put trash where you don't have to walk through a swarm of flies. I send you all the photos already so you know what's going on. Do you think I'd want to move and find myself in an exact situation or worse? Absolutely not. People do have bad luck, you know. And just to let you know, one of the women who used to rent, and there used to be a woman who used to live downstairs in the apartment building that actually they have another apartment, a supportive housing in this building, a 2-bedroom, and there were 2 women living there. One of the women who I've spoken to on numerous occasions was frustrated with what happened to the neighborhood. She left. All right, one of the women who used to live in the downstairs for me, the one you rent as well, moved out because she couldn't deal with it either. So stop acting like the problems aren't getting worse. And please forward this to the housing supervisor and my housing specialist because they told me they understand why the things I'm dealing with are bad for my mental and physical health. But now I feel as if you're giving me resistance. Please work with me. My mental health should be your priority. And then her response, and again, just a reminder to my viewers, this is, I'm not showing you the emails. You're not going to see them. I'm just reading them to you. I have to redact all the sensitive information, all right? But this is the director of the housing program that I'm speaking with, all right? Happens to live in West Islip. I already did research. She lives in an enclave. She doesn't have to worry about any of these things. So the blank, blank, blank center, I'm not going to say what my agency is, takes the mental health of all our clients very seriously. I'm very happy that we have been able to provide you a safe, affordable housing subsidy. Safe? I don't know. I beg to differ. I remember relocating you to your current apartment a few years back, and I am very sorry to hear that you are not happy with your current environment. The point I am trying to make is that the concerns you are bringing up can be found in any residential setting and are not specific to your building or neighborhood. Yeah, right. This person doesn't know it. They live in an enclave. Tenants in buildings, multifamilies, two families, smoke or may engage in other behaviors that their neighbors may find problematic. And that's true. But that's why you got to do your research to make sure you don't move somewhere that has smoking. And of course, I would not, if there was smoking, I would never take an apartment building where there was smoking allowed. Smoking is not allowed here. It's not allowed in this building. And, we had a lot of problems that luckily we're not dealing with. Luckily, the landlord's been able to get everybody not to smoke in this building, but the building across the way is a different story. It's not it's owned by a different landlord, and you have this closed in alley, as I've explained to you. So please remember that this is a nonprofit agency, and we provide the same housing subsidy to over 150 clients. We have a list of clients who are also requesting to relocate, and for this reason, we are trying to fill existing vacancies. Are you interested in hearing what else we have available internally? If a one-bedroom vacancy becomes available, you can certainly be considered to view it. In the meantime, Housing Supervisor will address your concerns with your current landlord, or we will relay your feedback. So, again, most of the apartments they have are in not bad neighborhoods, and the majority of them are in Hempstead. All right, so so they still don't answer my questions. So they say they're not in the office. They'll just give me times of when we're able to talk, and they want to include my therapist in this as well. So they're trying to gang up on me, I think. So I don't know if I need a lawyer or not at this point. But I figured I would read to you this. So I have one more reply here that I sent tonight, and in this one I tried to be nice about it. All right. Yes, I totally understand your point. As I before, I feel I was led to think I was going to be able to look for another apartment on my own, as the housing supervisor had encouraged me to look and gave me all the fair market rates for the towns I was looking to live in. But now you're telling me otherwise. This is where I feel misled. I do feel like my concerns are being unfairly dismissed. It has been almost 6 years since I've been living here, and yes, I can understand your point that you can have problems with neighbors anywhere, and I certainly would never consider moving anywhere that allows smoking, and it would be one of the first things I would ask when looking at an apartment. And it's not allowed here either, but what happens in the building across the way is out of our control because it's a different landlord. But not having an intercom for 3 years isn't something that should be dismissed. Neither is having to step over people's trash on the stairs to the basement and walk through flies to properly dispose of my trash in the receptacle inside the basement, and having to climb those stairs in the heat. I'm not getting any younger. I have always had difficulty with the heat in the summer. And, of course, I prefer not to have to move and have all these problems addressed. But maybe you can push the landlord harder to fix those problems. But as things are, I can't imagine surviving another summer here. And, I just said without some changes, and I made some suggestions, about, another air conditioner, a ventilation in the top of the stairway, and the intercom being broken. I just keep saying you can't keep dismissing that. I think it was a broken intercom. And I said, of course, I'd be able to looking at another existing single-bedroom apartment that you have internally, but I was told that none were available when I've asked before. If you do have something available in Rockville Center, Lynbrook, or Farmingdale, or even another part of Mineola, I would be able to look at it for a possible relocation. I hate the idea of moving, and I do. All right, I do. And I'm just talking to you now, not reading what I wrote here. But I said the summers are only getting worse due to climate change, and and I just say I don't know how I can survive here unless there's some major changes. And I really was too nice in this letter, but now that I learned where they live, maybe I shouldn't have been so nice in the letter replying. Because they're being hypocrites. The people I'm dealing with live in enclaves. They don't have to deal with any of these problems. They live in West Islip and Lynbrook, beautiful, clean communities. That don't have any illegals. They don't have any homeless around. They don't have to deal with trash. They don't have to deal with being heckled by homeless every damn day, like I was today on Mineola Boulevard in the afternoon by some homeless guy trying to get a buck off me. Hanging out at the corner of Second and Mineola Boulevard. All right, now they don't have to deal with any of that, but yet they're telling me there's something wrong with me and that it's in my head. So this is what I'm up against. But now that I see where they live, I see the big picture. So this is why I need to talk with them on the phone, and and maybe I need to speak with a lawyer. I'm going to be reaching out to. I actually have been forwarded the names of some housing lawyers that I'm going to be contacting tomorrow, it's obvious what's going on. And now that I see that they're from the South Shore, now I'm wondering what's really going on here. Are they actually trying to keep me out of the South Shore? I mean, maybe not, but, you have to wonder sometimes. This is what they're trying to do. It's okay to have all the people who need to live in happier, more thriving places, keep them down, keep them in the hood. Don't let us have quality housing. It's only for a certain demographic, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't like it, you can shut up and go live in New Jersey. Well, I'm not going to accept that. So this is what's going on. I figured I'd make a video just to let you know what's going on and why I've been a little bit off lately in my videos, so you can understand. It's been going on all week. I've been back and forth with this director, and now I have to determine, how would I even survive another summer here? Emotionally, it's so depressing here. I don't feel safe, and then it's so hot here in this building. It's so hot on this block. I can't even get fresh air when I open my windows, and I'll find out what availabilities they have internally, but I have a feeling, and I was told before, that the areas that they have is mostly Hempstead and Glen Cove and Uniondale, Roosevelt, and Baldwin, and those are really bad neighborhoods, as well as Freeport. So absolutely not. So, again, they get to live in nice areas, but they don't think we should. This is the hypocrisy that goes on in support of housing with these agencies. And I know, well, New Jersey provides a better experience. Look, I don't want to live in New Jersey, so let's cut it out, all right? It's not going to happen. I'm going to fight because I know where I deserve to live. I know where I have every right to live. I know my rights under New York state law, and I'm not going to give them up without a fight. So, but I got to see what my rights are right now, kind of being kind to my agency. But, if I speak with the lawyer and they say, you're right, then I'm going to wind up taking my agency to court. Because this is not right. They're looking out for their bottom line and not my well-being, and that's the problem I have. Especially considering that this person here that I'm speaking to actually has mostly administrative experience, but the housing supervisor actually has therapist or a psychology background. And that person, the housing supervisor, understood why these things would bother me, but all of a sudden they were leading to believe, oh yeah, we can look for an apartment for you, and then all of a sudden this housing coordinator, the program director, or this person I'm speaking to right now, is like doing an about face and trying to say, well, no, we're not gonna sign any new leases. So this is what's going on. And this agency, we'll see how they behave. I don't want to actually use this YouTube channel to call them out by name, but if it comes down to it, then I will do it. But right now, I'm trying to take the high road and not do that. But that's all for this video. I figured I would let all my viewers know what's going on. And this is what people in support of housing have to do with. And like I said, I'm one of the lucky. I am better off than a lot of people. There are people that have it way, way worse. I know that. That's the point. We shouldn't have substandard housing. We should have the same standard of housing everybody else does. It's discrimination, especially the people who need to be in happy places, need to be in clean places, need to be in places that are going to help them improve their mental health, are being denied that very right. That's what makes my blood boil. So, thank you for watching. I hope you watched this whole video, and please comment. Take care.